Hey guys, what is up? I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it even said 3. It was always going to be 4. Um, hey, at least it kind of gave you like a Discord. Um, again, welcome members, welcome subscribers, people that are on the fence. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep, my hair is all completely blonde now. So, yeah, look out. And all I did was just take just a tiny bit off just for right now while I am just still deciding. Again, guys, whoop, sorry. Here's a little intro for you. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. A Home Team Productions. Consider being a member of Fight for a Family at www.fightforafamily.com. Monthly membership donations as well as one-time donations. I am your executive producer, Lana Oriani. And look the fuck out, bitches. Again, guys, welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm half Irish, so yeah. So I'm going to be enjoying that. You guys, I have the whiteboard. Boop. I have documents for days for you guys. Look at this. Boom. Did a bunch of research for you guys. And I'm calling it now. I don't see Dylan or Bethany testifying at the preliminary hearing. I'll tell you why. I'll make it bigger. Let me see. Thank you for the compliment there on the hair. Appreciate it. On St. Patty's Day, I had to just drop an F-bomb. And because I clearly made you guys wait an hour, I am so sorry. Again, I don't see Dylan or Bethany testifying at the preliminary hearing. And I think I'm money on this call. I'll tell you guys why. Here we go. Hi, Mike Drop-In. Hi, Bumblebee. Again, a special shout out to all of you guys. You guys have been great, awesome, supporting. You guys have made life amazing. November, December, January, February, now into March. So those of you guys that have been following my Idaho 4 coverage and you guys are over here, that's how you guys saw my channel and whatnot. You guys are so greatly appreciated. And I just want you guys to know that. So from my mouth to your guys' ears, thank you. Right. Oh, we got some Idaho love up in here. I love all my Idahoans. Hoodaho. No, I'm actually looking forward. I've never been to Idaho, and I'm not looking forward to the reason that I'm going there because of this, but I've never been there, and we'll see what it's all about. Okay, guys. Preliminary hearing. Here we go. I went above and beyond for you guys today, I promise. Promise. I'm going to bring in the whiteboard first, see how this looks. We'll enhance it. There we go. All right. So they got to bring it by, they're going to have to, substantial amount of evidence is needed. And that's going to be in terms of the material elements of the case. And this breaks it down in a quicker way in terms of your law enforcement is going to be able to testify to hearsay. So whoever interviewed Dylan, whoever interviewed Bethany, they're going to be able to testify to what they said. And that is why I believe that those type of witnesses aren't going to be called. You can bet your ass that I could be wrong, but the prosecutor's bill is going to try to present as little info as possible. So think about the PCA and think about just sprinkling some stuff on top of it. So again, your hearsay here, that's going to be your reports, your agents, whoever interviewed people are going to be able to testify to those interviews. So that is the reason that I believe Dylan and Bethany will not be testifying. I feel that way across the board. So let me tell you why I feel this way. And the purpose of the preliminary hearing is to see if this even goes any further. You have to. So your preliminary hearing is like a mini trial. You're this guy that you have probable cause to arrest for these crimes. In this situation, it's these crimes because it's multiple crimes. But you have to, when you have this preliminary hearing, people can either waive their preliminary hearing. There's pros and cons to waiving. There's also pros and cons to having it. You're going to determine your probable cause that they believe that they had. Now they're going to have to cough up some of that evidence. So that's going to be over here where it says purpose to have a prelim. If you are usually waiving your preliminary hearing, chances are you're doing it because you're about to take some type of a plea deal. You don't want stuff about the case to get out to hinder what would become a deal for you. So the nature of people getting wind of certain things about your case in terms of what type of plea deal you can get. That's not the case here. Brian Kohlberger he did not waive his preliminary hearing. He's having this preliminary hearing. They are going to try to get this to not continue. And so what I spent a couple hours doing is, how do I see the prosecution presenting this case and what type of order they're going to go through at the preliminary hearing to satisfy that this is our guy. We have probable cause. He did this, and we're able to show every material element. We're able to set all of these facts, and that this is our guy. Again, now let me tell you, don't get all like, oh my God, what do you mean they're not going to testify? What do you mean Bethany and Dylan aren't going to testify? Let me explain how this will work. Again, this is my belief. Could I be wrong? Sure. But I don't think I'm wrong about those two people not testifying. So if you're the defense, if you're Anne, your purpose to have this preliminary hearing is, number one, you're building a foundation to impeach the prosecutor's witnesses. You want to get everything out there that you can, see where they're shaky on testimony, um, basically see what they say, and then see where you can impeach it, down the road, which means whatever they say at this preliminary hearing is under oath. It can be used against you. So the next time you testify, for example, let's say that you go with uh, you're at the trial and you say something and it's totally contradicting what you said at the prelims, they're going to go ahead and use that to impeach you. Okay. So that's what number one means. Number two, evaluate the witness testimony. Again, you're going to see who you believe is a shaky witness, what they're saying, and maybe you're like, oh, that can't be right, stuff like that. And then you're also evaluating the strengths and the weaknesses of the case against you, where you need to go and poke the holes at. So here we go. I went ahead and I broke this down. You can expect to hear from the medical examiner, in my opinion. This is the person that's this is your time of death. Okay. This is everything in this case when you're talking about such a small window. So your medical, that's going to be like where number 4 is. Anybody that's a scientific expert, your Fed and your state agents, your police officers, the lab workers. Let me go ahead and do this for you. Okay. Is that big enough for you guys? You want it bigger? I think that's big enough, right? That's big enough. So for me in this case, again, this is just how I see it. Again, little logic, little education. They must have substantial evidence on every material fact, every material element of this case. That's the facts of the case. So what are the elements of this case? What is the crime? The crime is murder. There's 4 murders. Okay. The time of death, that's going to be a fact of this case. So what is the medical examiner going to say? And then when the medical examiner is testifying, you're going to do questions such as, for example, let's just use the DoorDash guy because I started on him to break it down. So let's say that the DoorDash guy testifies, or let's say even if a police officer testifies to his interview with the DoorDash guy. These are the type of questions that I would ask or be expected to find out about. Okay, person who delivered it, what's this person's name? The type of vehicle they were in. Was it hand delivered? Did they ID who they delivered it to? So let's say his name's Mark. And when you got there, okay, did they make a positive ID? How did that whole thing transpire? Had they ever delivered to the house before? What part of the house was it delivered to? What account ordered the DoorDash? What telecommunications device ordered the DoorDash? You're going to be able to ask police officers these type of questions, okay, to see if, in fact, here's a guy that was there at 4:00 in the morning. How is he not a suspect? Or was he a suspect? Whoever this person is that DoorDash, okay? So you're going to chop holes at things like the investigation of this case. You have somebody that says that they were there. How do you know that they didn't kill the 4 people? What type of questions did they ask? So what time was it ordered? What was ordered? What did they normally order when ordering from this place? Was there a picture taken after delivery was made, if not hand given? Things like that. So they're going to testify. Let me go back down here so I can pull this back up. they're going to go in an order of telling a story. Okay. So normally what you hear and you see is you hear, okay, the dispatcher is going to testify about receiving the 911 call. The 911 call is going to be played. That's how I see this starting off. Then it's going to go into the first arriving officers, Gunnarsson, Noonans, and I forget who the hell the other guy was when I was typing this up, so I left that blank. Then you're going to go into Officer Payne, Blaker. Now, I'm questionable on the whole Fry part of it. He may testify to the whole fact of, like, you know, that he was giving the orders to certain people to do X, Y, and Z and things like that. Then you're going to have your ISP forensic team members. And then after that, any police, any interviews of the witnesses that they're testifying to, if there was eyewitnesses, those are the police officers, whoever took those witnesses' testimonies, or their, if they did do a neighborhood witness sheet, whoever interviewed them, each witness, that's the person that they're going to have on the stand to testify to their account. And normally you rely heavily on your notes and your report to do that. So let's take a look at something here. So I got to thinking about this because obviously we're prepping to go to, you know, for this prelim, and so it got me thinking. When I thought about it, I was like, holy shit, that's right. I was like, they can testify to hearsay. So normally it would be, if it was just like a regular trial, you're going to have Dylan and you're going to have Bethany. But here, they can just rely on qualified persons to testify to that hearsay. So does that make sense with everybody, in terms of why I don't believe that they're going to be testifying? Now, I will say this. If they do a motion, it's a Rule 12. If they do a motion to suppress any evidence, that cannot be used at the preliminary hearing. Okay. So that could be a tactic that they use. So there is that. So can they suppress some stuff? Yes, but guess what? If they suppress it, it can't be used for that preliminary hearing. It could be used at the trial, though. So, Lana, right now the witness list consists of law enforcement only. Yeah, and like the medical examiner, your medical examiner. Could I see the DoorDash guy possibly testifying? Yes, but I think they're going to relieve Dylan and Bethany of that. I don't think they're going to they're going to try not to put them through that, if that makes sense. So, because what I thought is you got your PCA and it got you this arrest, and I think they're just going to sprinkle some stuff on top of it. So, what are the elements of this case, and how do you poke holes at it? And I'm going to tell you guys what I think. Want to hear what you guys think, though. So for me, obviously, the timeline's everything. That's their case. Their case relies on that this crime was committed between 4 and 4:25. When the medical examiner is going to testify to that time of death, I think that you're going to see if you can stretch her on that. So, can't the defense call B and D? They they can cross-examine anybody that's up there. And I believe if they motion to suppress certain things that they then it's all going to depend on how they present their case. They have to testify. I'm telling you, they do not have to testify. Dylan and Bethany do not have to testify. I promise you that right now. They do not have to testify. There's a way around it, and it would be that these law enforcement agents could testify, and it would fly. They're allowed to testify to hearsay at their preliminary hearing. Again, can they decide, or could I be wrong and they're going to be like, yeah, no, we're planning on having Bethany and Dylan testifying? Sure, absolutely, absolutely. But I could see them. What have they done this whole time? They've protected. They've gone out of their way and lied, basically. So if they can protect, they're going to want to keep them off the witness stand. Okay. That's my opinion. They knocked out, she blocked off a whole week for the preliminary hearing. She's expecting this to be a lengthy preliminary hearing. I think because it's so circumstantial, that is why. So I think there is going to be a lot of testimony. I think there is going to be a lot of testimony to, like I just said here, you want to ask these guys anything and everything so that you could possibly impeach them down the road. That's going to be Ann Taylor's goal. Obviously, your main goal is to get this completely out so it doesn't continue on. But you have to have branches off, like, of what you're with each person. Like, they're looking at the whole discovery, so they have everything that they're looking at. And stuff where it's shaky or it doesn't make sense, that's what they're gonna, like, what part of this case doesn't make sense? Well, what's Brian's motive? And again, they don't have to prove motive, but if there's anything in the discovery and the defense wants to bring up, like somebody like, yes, you could subpoena people, of course. Is Mod Squad in here? No way. No way. Yeah, DM's whole account is shady. AT will be able to impeach her right away. Well, where you're going to get the impeachment, guys, is like you want something to be said on the record, and then later when they try to say something else on the record, you're going back to the other record and you're showing that this is what they said beforehand. That's what I would be doing. But let's look at it from the prosecution standpoint. If you're prosecuting this case, how do you prosecute it? What's your strength in this case? Yes. Again, remember, like, so the prosecution presents their case. So you're going to get to the point of, okay, the wounds. The state's case is that Brian Kohlberger did this alone. So if we can possibly get it so that, hey, could that wound have been made with this type of an object? Yeah. So this type of an object. So just the Rambo knife, it could also have been made from this type of an object. So there could be two weapons. Is it possible that there's two weapons? Is it possible that there was, based on, I can't wait to hear about if there's not blood transfer from each victim, the first one that you killed to the second one, third one, fourth one, that would surprise me. Wouldn't it surprise you? If there's no, if I killed this person first with a knife and then I kill that person second, third, and fourth, you would think that the first person's not going to have mixture inside stab wounds, right? So those samples of a mixture, it's going to be in all of them versus the first person that you killed, right? Unless you you went back to somebody else but can you imagine what if it comes back that there's no mixtures of blood in any of the stab wounds? Do you think that would be interesting? Do I think that's the case? No. But so to me, the biggest thing that I think that they have is that they're saying Brian Kohlberger drives an Elantra, and he's been known to be in the area pinging off of cell towers late at night. And his phone was weird on different times. And the touch DNA of the sheath, even though I don't think that's strong, but what else? What's their strongest things in this case? We will find out if there's victim DNA in his car. Yeah, that'll come out. Yeah. So like that's all the little testimonies of like, when that scene was processed. Okay. Those are all that's all the testimony that I see happening a lot of at trial or at this preliminary hearing. Because that's transfer. First of all, I'm curious to see if that's even going to stand, depending on how they got that. I'd want to ask Dawn Daniels why she was so big on not using the DNA to get the probable cause warrant to search his apartment. Like, why would she even think that there'd be an issue about that, about the way that they obtained that DNA? But Jody, why isn't the touch DNA strong? Because it's transfer. That could happen. Google touch DNA. Google touch DNA. That's the I could package something because I worked somewhere and you came and bought something, and then so like therefore something that I had touched was on there. It's so minimal. Your DNA can end up on something that you never even touched. That is true. That's why I think that when you get the testimonies of that, and then you mix that in with what the condition of the sheath is going to be in. You're just going to see if it looks like shit, smells like shit. Normally it is shit. So I just believe that this sheath should have a ton of blood on it. At least some blood on it. If this sheath has no blood on it, I mean, come on. Blood dries pretty quick, guys. So if you tried to plant this, I don't know how long after, but blood dries. So think about it. 911 wasn't called until almost noon. And let's just say 4 to noon, just easy math. That's 8 hours. That's dry blood. So if you tried to plant this sheath, and you thought that there was going to be some blood when you put it down, it's going to be dry blood. Um, yeah, I don't see DM being I don't see DM testifying. When I went and looked up the Idaho, the way they can do stuff in Idaho, I think they're gonna try to go with just what the interviews were. Um, what they may be able to go off of is they're gonna play the interview. So if they had the body cam or they were in the interview room, they're just gonna play her interview. And you're gonna have a cop up there that was sitting there when that was being done. And on this day, did you interview, Dylan Mortensen? Yes. Okay. Is this a true and accurate, do you recall this interview? Okay. Did you take notes? Yep. Was this, all right, we're going to go ahead and play this. So then they would go ahead and play that. That's how I can kind of see. And then, okay, was this your first interview with her? Yes. Did you have a second interview with her? Yes. Did anything, what happened? She came in, you know what I mean? All that type of stuff is going to come out like that. So I see that's how that's going to go. They're going to try. If I had $100, I'd be laying it on the fact that Dylan and Bethany are not testifying, that they will be using government agents, whoever interviewed these people, they'll be testifying, and they're allowed to. And then they're going to try to, poke holes at it. Paula Coco, you're absolutely right, Lena. Thank you. Thank you for thinking that. Well, let's see. That's how I see that going. So I see the 911 call played, the interviews of the arriving officers and what they did. What is your duty? What is your job duty say when you get to something like this? What did you do? Okay. Is that what you're supposed to do? What else are you supposed to do? Who did you call? Did you have any interaction with any of the people that were at the scene? Did you have a crime scene? Where's your crime scene log? So that crime scene log. Okay, so who was all inside the crime scene? You guys have a bunch of agencies working together. So, to find this Hyundai, this white Elantra, okay, it's going to come up that when we canvassed the neighborhood, we were able to get the surveillance of 1112 King. We were able to get the surveillance of Linda Lane. We were able to get the surveillance here. And then, we sat down, we went through all the surveillance. Is this, they're going to show the video. Is this the surveillance from at what time? Boom, boom. Okay. And, and then what did you do? And then what did you do? And then what did you do? Yes, this is exactly what this is. This is a preliminary hearing to determine if there's enough evidence to go to trial. Yes, it's exactly what this is. Could he walk if not enough evidence at 100%? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. So I pulled out the good old handy dandy PCA, and I was looking at it in the order that they did this. How can the law testify on hearsay without any witnesses to back up what they're saying? Because hearsay, they can make anything up. Yeah, but that's not how they're going to do it. And how I see them doing it is they're going to use just like their interview. the prosecutor's going to say, here we go, here you go, Mr. Payne. Do you recall this? Do you know what this is? Can you identify this? So this is going to be a piece of paper. Oh, yep. This is my report of interviewing Dylan. Okay. Was that interview what's the date on there? Okay. So that's going to be submitted. When that interview took place, did you guys record it? Was it recorded? Yes. Audio and video. Okay. Then they're going to play that audio and video. They could, if the prosecution just wants to ask questions and then on cross-examination, them say things like, okay, well, you guys told the police or you guys told the public that Dylan was sleeping downstairs. Okay. And then he's probably going to say, well, no, I didn't tell anybody that. I didn't write up that press release. That's why me and Bella called to see who the person was that wrote up the press release. So, they're going to have to get his name's that doll dude. They're going to, when he takes the stand, they're going to ask him, okay, you wrote every single one of these press releases, right? Yes, I did. Okay. Where did you get the information to write those? Where'd you get your information? Where was that being supplied from? So, because if I was Anne, I'm going to understand. So we're supposed to believe you here today that Dylan's going with this version versus that version, but Dylan's not here to say that. So you're testifying that the hearsay, you're testifying here today that she gave you multiple statements and this is the one that you believe's true. So you're going to want to get it out. Did Dylan tell you multiple stories or did you guys make that up? You're going to want to find that out. What is up there? Yes, Tutor Bunny. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That was very kind. Super sticker. Whoop, whoop. Who is qualified? This is who's qualified. An agent. So FBI agent. Anybody that's doing like your lab work. Police officer. So like, no, I couldn't testify for you. Like if I'm a citizen and you're a citizen and I'm just like, I can't go test. You have to be a qualified witness, which is like an agent, which is like a police officer. So no, I can't testify for another civilian and they couldn't testify for me to hearsay. That doesn't meet the qualifications. But the qualifications would include a police officer. So you want to get these young people, you want to just shake a little bit of the tree to see who's a strong witness and who's a weak witness. Especially if all of them went through the house. When you walked through the house, did you go into that bedroom? So you never went in that room. Did you have a body cam on that day? So you want to take a look at everyone's body cam. You'd want to know everything about these body cams. You want to know everywhere where these people went. Okay? Because that sheath, if you can get someone or multiple people to say, did you see the sheath? No. When did you see the sheath? You saw it, but yeah, it's not on any of these body cams, but you saw it. So the only way that you can do a really good job The only way that Ann Taylor, in my opinion, could do a really good job, or any lawyer could do a really good job, is if they know the facts of the case. So that means you have to be well versed, and you better have a team that investigated and sat there and knows everything about it. That means, because that way, if somebody was to testify and lie, you can't catch it unless you know the truth. Okay, that was one of the things I ran into, because I never thought in a million years I was like, okay, you're not going to have this, you're not going to be this dumb to just go and keep lying under oath. Oh yeah. So if you don't know it, you can't argue it. And you need to be able to, find it and show it. They're going to talk about all the investigative steps. How do you get to Brian Kohlberger? I've been saying this since day one. How do they get to Brian Kohlberger? The only one claiming to find the sheath is Officer Payne. Correct. And I want to see his body cam. I want to see the CAD notes. I want to see his body cam. If you're an investigator, you want to see his body cam, and you want to see his body cam to see how close he got. Did he touch anything? Did any of these people touch anything? If for any reason people's body, if anybody shut off their body cams, whatever, you want to literally go through everything. That's why I don't care how good of a lawyer you think you have. You need a very good investigator that's part of that defense team. You need somebody that can dig through whatever the hell you need to find, and they're going to find it. You need somebody that can put dots together, and then you give it to a lawyer to argue the law, to litigate it. You can't litigate shit if you don't have anything. You can't litigate it. So you need the information. That's why they requested this normally would have taken place within the 14 days. They need to go through all of this. They need to go through all of it to the point that that you got your client saying he didn't do this. I'm being set up. I did not do this. You think that Brian's in there saying I did this? No, Brian's in there saying that he didn't do this, right? I didn't do this. I did not do this. What type of conversations do you think they're having? That is possible, Nancy, 100% possible. 100% possible. I find it hard to believe, though, that wouldn't have been in the PCA. I find it hard to believe that would be something that you would feel the need to keep out of the PCA. And also depending on what they found in the house, you're going to want to kick in on the fact of I'd be going over there and asking every maintenance man over on that, did anybody lose their keys? Did anybody lose their keys at that apartment complex? That's like a janitor or like a maintenance man. Were there any break-ins in the area, from the moment that he left and was like, or, even when he was there, if you can prove that he wasn't at his apartment when anything like weird happened. But if this guy is telling you that if he was, I didn't do this, he has to be saying that he was framed. Are you saying I got the wrong guy? They got the wrong guy? What do you think Brian's saying? Because if you don't help your attorney, if you can help your attorney, you help your attorney. Well, Brian, why would they think that this is you? Brian, did they ever talk? They would know if they talked to him on WSU or on campus. Rachel says, Lana, imagine how you will feel when they say, and now we're going to play the 911 call. Yeah, it's coming. I think they're going to rip right. That's going to be the first thing played, because that sets like your, that's. And then I think that when the dispatcher's up there, so that's going to be brief. On cross-examination, how many voices did you hear? Was there any calls made prior to that phone call? Was there any 911 hangups? Anybody call earlier? What were the calls made prior to that? Was there a call ever made earlier and then someone panicked and hung up? You'd want to look at the CAD notes with that. You'd want to ask these guys why they're ruling people out. Did people give their DNA? You want to ask things like, there's 100 samples of DNA in that house. My client is not in any of those samples of DNA. How did you rule out all these people? What was the path? So when whoever's going to be testifying to the fact of, yeah, there was 96 samples of unidentified male DNA in that house. 90, where was this at? And they're going to be talking about where this unidentified male DNA is. Then you're going to talk about bedrooms because people were murdered in bedrooms. You're going to go to the sheets. You're going to go to anything that's in those rooms. And if there is unidentified male DNA in those rooms, whose DNA is this? So my client's DNA is not in here, but this is unidentified. This is unidentified. And there's identified male DNA on the sheets. So you're going to have this is what's all going to come out. We're going to find out what they have. But what they're going to try to do, the prosecution, if you're the defense, you're trying to get as much out that you can. And if you're the prosecutors, you're trying to get out as little as you can and still get your, to move forward. I think what I'm looking forward to is when I hear that Brian Kohlberger was not talked to. And so when they're being questioned to say, Officer Payne, so the guys from WSU are probably going to testify that they came across this car. Okay. You would think. And then what they do and all that stuff. So then, Officer Payne, do you recall getting this tip? Okay, he takes a look. Okay, yes, who is that? Oh, it's, because remember, prosecutors going first, this is their case. So they have whoever they have up there, and then they'll say no more further questions. And then that's when the defense comes in and then talks about it. So if Payne's testifying he got Brian Kohlberger's information, he put it in the system, and then he saw it came back to this. So all of his steps that he did, he's going to put out there. Then it's going to be cross-examined. So then you're going to have Anne saying things like, okay, you came across Brian Kohlberger's name. Did you ever show these pictures to, who did you show these pictures to? Did anybody, positively identify him at any point in time? When did you try to contact him? Did you go to his, you're going to ask all the questions to get all the order of everything that he did. And then things like, okay, here's all these other tips that were coming in about this white Elantra. Did you call this person? No. Did you call this person? Did you talk to this person? Did you talk to that person? So this case is circumstantial, unless they have something connecting him, like his phone, and like the victims are on it, and like they need to connect Brian Kohlberger to these victims. That's the big thing, in my opinion. In my opinion, there's nothing out there except if you listen to rumors that he was liking on Instagram all these pictures? Again, News Nation, or People Magazine, or, you know. First responders were likely in shock. Yeah, but it's about what they did. So you have all these people that were there, the friends that were called over. Did you separate them? How long were they there? Where did they go after that? So they were all talking to each other for how long? And when did you get their witness statements? 4 hours later? You know, the stuff like that. So they all talked to each other for 4 hours and then did their witness statements? Did you take them all down to the station? Did you put them all in different rooms? How did you know that they weren't anybody that did this? Did you see any blood trails leaving the house? What did you said you determined early on that this was a isolated targeted attack. How did you make that determination? Like, do you know how long all of this testimony is going to take? This testimony, I mean, the prosecution, they have probable cause to get into all of this information, okay? All the search warrants that they did, all this is all based off of probable cause. Well, what came from it, okay? What came from this? We have probable cause. Okay. It should lay out a map. And that's the elements of, that's what they're going to have to prove. A substantial amount of the evidence on every material element to this crime. Thanks. My hair is beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't think it's going to come. I don't think any of this is going to be weighed on what Dylan saw, guys. I think it's going to have to do with the time. For me, it's not going to be about what Dylan saw. We're going to look at people's phones, and that's where I think it's going to be interesting. So whoever did like the extraction of all the phones, because in the PCA, no one talks about what person did what and who did what. But when you actually have the reports of all the police officers, I should go get all my Sheldon Jeter Jr. stuff so I could show you guys what I mean. But every report has the person's name on it that actually did it, and then the person that told you to do it. So your supervisor. So who told you to do, XYZ, and then here's your report on it. So who extracted the data? Okay, of the phones. Okay. So then they're going to be answering, okay, so when's the last time, because you say here that you made your determination, Officer Payne, that you, from 4 to 4:25, and it was the combination of DM statements to law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads. So did you review those downloads, Mr. Payne? Because it's like a blanket. You took from everybody. So who did the reviewing of the forensic downloads? And then you didn't take anything from the victims' phones to come up with that 4 to 4:25. Isn't it because they were still on their phones at 4:35 and 4:55, and the phone was being walked around? I mean, you give it up like that. No, you just, why didn't you take the victims' phones into account when thinking that the time of the crime was from 4 to 4:25? No, I don't think they're televising it. But Truth and Transparency is going to be giving you guys updates every time that there's a recess. The book will be transferred out to be updated. So every time that there's a recess in terms of being able to get the information out. So 24/7 coverage over here from Idaho. So nothing's it's a public hearing, but it's not going to be televised publicly. And anybody out there that's thinking that Brian's going to take a plea deal, that's not happening. I'll be waiting here 24/7, says Diane. Yeah. It's a public hearing. It's a public hearing, but it's just not as far as like being on TV. I mean, maybe one of these bigger somebody could put in a request and see what happens from it, but Truth Seeker says, I'm so glad you'll be there. We'll get the real scoop. Yeah, whatever it is. So, so yeah, the prosecution is going to lay down just all as much as they want to. Hey, Brian's the guy. Brian's the guy, and it's gonna. I just hope that somebody scoured through the information. Like, I mean, FBI will be interviewed. Whoever did the, okay, how do you know that's a, you first said it was a 2000 whatever to whatever. Now you saw different footage. Remember I did a live about that? They used 2 different videos to determine that was the same vehicle. And I would go crazy on that. That's where you would, you know, in this PCA, just so you guys know, like, where was Brian's what was Brian doing in the days or even like the hours before, 2:35 a.m. What was going on? So many moving parts to this case. So many moving parts. It is because there's 4 victims. I'm waiting to see a bombshell drop in there when somebody decides that they're pleading the 5th in there. Because I could see that coming. That somebody goes, I'm pleading the 5th. I'd be subpoenaing all of Sigma Chi. Get your asses down here. How about this? What about the people? What about the guys that were undercover? This is clearly the case of the year, and it will shake the entire country. Absolutely, Al. It really will. I think to hear experts go back and forth on could this be, was it one person? Was it 2 people? The order, the blood transfer, when you have experts testifying in seeing something 2 different ways, I find that interesting. Because it's not wrong, because it's science. Math is, 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 3. It equals 2. But to interpret, could something happen multiple ways? And the answer is yes. You just have to find something that fits that method out, like that all the method and the approach and how it all came out if it all adds up. Yep, seeking the facts. I agree. This case is very, very interesting. For me, people can say all the time, we didn't have to prove motive, yada, yada, yada. Well, yeah, you don't, I guess. But where that's lacking, then the death penalty should be not on the table. I have a problem with Brian knowing, or allegedly Brian knew, that at that time period that everybody was in their rooms versus possibly gathered in the kitchen or the living room or out back, but that as soon as everybody went to their rooms, then it happened. I mean, what are the odds? That house is bumping. And they're going to say, well, yeah, because he kept driving back and forth. He kept driving around until what, that happened? But what? Well, until he saw the light. Once he saw the light shut off, then that's when he did it. Okay. When you're in college, you don't shut lights off. Every light's on. Just how it goes. Law and Crime will show Kohlberger case on YouTube. For the preliminary or for like the actual trial? Yeah, so I just look at this and I'm like, what's the prosecution's strongest? I'm hoping that their strongest pieces are stuff that obviously we don't know yet. But look at the dates that they ran all of their what do you want to call it? If you look at the dates of everything that's all the search warrants that we have to date, is that all of them? Hell no. There's a shit ton more. But look at the dates of all of that stuff. There was nothing that was like that we have that would indicate that they were looking into Brian Kohlberger until a certain date when I think that they started. So did all of that, the search warrants and stuff like that, happen? If you're getting into the historical data of a phone and you're getting a warrant for that on December 23rd, what else do you think that they were given? Because that's not the only thing. Thank you there, Ninja, for becoming a member. Whoop, whoop. Who's drinking green beer? No, Dylan's window faced the back of the house, right where the intruder left. Had to go right past to go back to that lot. Yeah, Becky, I agree. With a death penalty, you better be damn sure you got the right person. I mean, you can't take that one back. Hi, Gina. Hi, Mod Squad. Are you guys trying to talk to me? Because this just goes way flying so fast back here. Are you guys saying stuff to me? What are you guys trying to do? Shots? What's wrong? You guys think I can read this chat going crazy? That's why I put it on slow so I can see your guys' stuff. I can't see anything. I think it should be the preliminary hearing should be, but I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. Thank you, Paula. I'm absolutely awesome. Cheers to that. Angry Orchard. Cheers. I put some green dye in here. I never sleep in the complete dark. Thanks for keeping me company on my hour commute just now. I know. When we're talking about something that I like to talk about, obviously he can't take the stand. That's not true. That's not true at all. If they wanted him to take the stand and he wanted to take the stand, he could take the stand. I mean, I don't see that happening, but there's nothing that says that he can't take the stand. In fact, the defense is allowed to present their case, and it has to be something of evidentiary value. Yeah. I was doing a nice read up on the Idaho, what your laws are. He was there, or did DM tell you that he got polluted? I'm probably going to jail, but I don't care. I'm over it. These kids return to school Monday. Someone will die. What? Jeez. Almost happy birthday, Lana. Thank you. Appreciate that. Best month ever. Yes, 100%. I agree. John, she's not taking the stand. You know, they talk about in the search warrants how they had to use an external hard drive, but that's what they downloaded, that his phone was on, the information. Well, why? Where's it? Where this external hard drive come from? So that was taken from his parents' house? Because I don't recall there being an external hard drive taken from the apartment. I have to go back and check it out. If he truly wants to exonerate himself, he will take the stand. If he has an alibi, fire stick. The fire stick? Don't let them write to Brian. You know, you guys, I'm sorry, but if literally 5 feet, I thought her description was that he was 5 feet 10 or taller, bushy eyebrows. That's it. Mask. Well, not like athletically built, but just like, you know, that's like all of America minus people that are overweight. Brian doesn't have the balls to take the stand. I don't know. The police officer sure didn't have the balls to go talk to him, so I don't know. I think all these officers are shaking in their boots. At least Anne's a veteran. She's dealt with police being a little shady, so she can sniff it out. Yeah, so you're going to be able to see. You're gonna see the prosecution's foundation of their case and where you can impeach witnesses for the prosecution. That's why you're having this. Obviously, you're going to try to throw this out. Let me go back to. I'm very curious on the time of death. They're going to go ahead and say very curious on the tax. Where's the tax reports? Like, what's up? And anybody says that they're not important, that's just wild. Wild. What about if anybody was pregnant? I mean, just everything matters. Remember the forensic team had to go back in They went from having 100 pieces of evidence or 103 to having 113. I'm so curious to see what those 10 extra pieces are. They took 4,000 photos. 4,000 photos. 4,000 photos. How do you explain having DNA in a house that is unaccounted for in rooms where a homicide or multiple were committed? Well, I'm going to release the text. That's going to be talked about in the courtroom. I'm releasing everything. My sponge of a brain. I'm working on my shorthand writing right now. I'm not going to miss a damn piece of that testimony. Gina Marie, what can I do for you? What's wrong, Gina Marie? What? How do you explain one officer? That's why I think the body cam is going to be great. I also later noticed as I entered this bedroom, I could see two females in the single bed in the room. I think it's going to be interesting how they testified to. Do you think that so did she ever, like, what were they wearing? What were they wearing? Like, were they in pajamas? You know, in college, you're not wearing, like, I get it, but were they in the same clothes that they were out in? You know, that's going to be important. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Morgan. You know, again, that's going to be asked. Like when you say I later then noticed, was that like you noticed it later as in just 2 seconds or as in, you know, an hour when you went back up there? Yes, Rachel. The fact that they didn't get into that cart as soon as they ID'd it is beyond me. Especially when they're writing things in this PCA like, there would have been blood, you know. So it doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm hoping that what would make sense is if Brian said, "I'm not talking to you," then, and it's like that's what put him on the radar. It's just, but Payne will plead the fifth. Payne's not. He's not pleading the fifth. Whatever skeletons he may have in his closet, though, they'll be coming out. You know, but just to say these words like, based on numerous interviews conducted by Moscow police officers, ISP detectives, and FBI agents, as well as my review of evidence. So what Officer Payne, you have learned the following. What review of evidence? What did you review? You reviewed everything? You went through all 4,000 photos, Officer Payne? Were these people, these officers, when they conducted an interview, did you assign who each person interviewed? And they turned the report into you? And then were they wearing body cams? Was it in an interview room? So then you took the notes, but then you also watched the whole interview? And now you say that you said that Bethany saw Ethan and Xana at the Sigma Chi house from approximately 9 to 1:45 a.m. Did you ever interview Jeff Kernoodle? Did you ever interview him? Did Jeff ever tell you that he talked to his daughter that night at midnight and that she was home with her boyfriend? No, I never interviewed Jeff. So you never interviewed Jeff. So did you look at Xana's phone? So that 11:56 phone call, 11:56 p.m. phone call, whose number is that? Is that her dad? Okay. So she did talk to her dad? And are you aware that he said that she was watching a movie with her boyfriend? So she was watching a movie while at Sigma Chi or at 1122 King? I have no idea because I didn't talk to Jeff. So you didn't talk to Jeff? Okay. Did any of your agents talk to Jeff? No. Okay, so Bethany saw Officer Payne. So Bethany saw Chapin and Xana from 9 to 1:45. So Bethany was at the Sigma Chi party the whole time? Because you guys had reported that Bethany and Dylan were out at two completely different locations that night and that they arrived home at 1 o'clock in the morning. Is that because where is that information coming from that you guys put out in the presser for like, I don't know, 7 weeks straight? Where was that coming from? We were just totally misleading. We wanted to keep them safe. They, 4 of their roommates had just been murdered. Oh, there was fear that they could have been murdered too. So not everybody was safe, but you were telling everybody was safe, but you had to lie to the community to keep them safe. So not everybody was safe. This is the type of shit that Anne. So when you took Bethany's phone, so when did Bethany just tell you she was there? Did you take her phone? Does it link anywhere? So what? So why are there all these conflicting stories that you guys needed to take all this time to figure out where Xana and Ethan were, but the router has them coming on and off of the Wi-Fi throughout that time. So were they? I said that she's seen her. Like they just saw her there, saw them there. Like you just want to get him all like revved up and get him like, you want to trip him up because none of this makes sense. So everything that you guys were putting on a presser was not true. But this is all true. This is true, but that isn't true. Is it normal that you guys lie to the community? Now you say here that DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom. What does that mean? That she originally went to sleep in her bedroom? Did she go to sleep somewhere else after that? And how do you know that Dylan woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning? That's what Dylan told us. How does Dylan know that she woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Because she looked at her phone. Okay, so she had her phone with her? So she hears all of this commotion going on and she doesn't text her roommates, she doesn't call 911. Now she says that she heard the dog. Why did she think it was the dog? Did the dog bark? She's just really confused. So she was confused before anything ever even happened? Well, no, after it happened, then everything was a big fog. Did you drug test Dylan? Did Dylan have any drugs in her? Did you drug test anybody? Did you drug test? So the copious amounts of drugs and drinking that witnesses on campus said that they saw Dylan doing all day, this is what would go on. Let's see what else we would destroy here. Well, this is about Officer Payne right now. Actually, this is about Officer Payne. This is actually going to be about all digital evidence as you can get. This is about the entire case. Yeah. So Officer Payne, you wrote it here. This is your writing, right? This is your typed up version. You said that you reviewed. So when Dylan told you that she heard what she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of "there's someone here," your next sentence is a review of the like if she told you that she heard Kaylee, do you believe her? Did you believe her when she said that? Did you try to get her to change her mind? That maybe she heard somebody else? Is that what you were doing here? Trying to did you tell her that maybe she heard somebody else? Did you ever get her off that? If she told you that she heard Kaylee, don't you think that she would know the differences of her voices and her roommates? A review of the records obtained from a forensic download of Xana's phone showed that this could also have been Xana. How could it also have been Xana? Do Kaylee and Xana have the same voice? How could that just? So it could have been Xana just because her phone said that she was on TikTok? Now, in the interview, though, that we just watched, you never asked her that. You just put that in the PCA. So is that pure conjecture there? Because she said that she heard Kaylee. When did you obtain this video camera footage, the security camera from 1122 King Road? When did you get that? And it says at approximately 4:17 a.m. You picked up distorted audio. What sounded like voices or whimper. We're going to play that. And I just want you to point out where you hear different things and what you believe that they are. Did you take a walk around the area of King Road and Queen Road, Mr. Payne? Do you know how many neighbors around there have dogs? Did you ask any of their dog? Did you ask any of those people if their dogs were barking that night? If they heard anybody barking? I heard that the Sigma Chi students like to bark at each other. Could that have been them, the Sigma Chi students barking at each other? I heard the Sigma Chi, they like to play games with each other and chase each other with knives. Did you look into that? You guys have heard about that, right? Oh, shit. Oh, Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne, are you sure that Mr. Payne, how many Sigma Chi students did you interview? How did you rule them out? Did any of them supply their DNA? Mr. Payne, do you think I have bushy eyebrows? I'm just curious. Mr. Payne, I heard you like to kill wolves. When was it that you killed your first wolf with? Was that a knife? Did you use a knife? How many wolves have you killed? No report taken. Mr. Payne, Officer Payne, you gave that's it. You gave the FBI a couple different videos to decide if the make and model of a car. Is that what you did? Okay. Was there any blood trail coming out of that house? So how did you eliminate that nobody inside the house could have committed the crime if there was no blood trail outside of the house? If you kill 4 people stabbing them to death, did you find the knife? So you have the knife and you're walking out with the knife drip blood, or do you have any blood trail? I mean, I don't know. How did you rule out, the boyfriends and the hoodie guy? And you did that early on. Did they supply their DNA? Also, Kaylee's phone and Maddie's phone stopped making any calls at 2:52 a.m. Couldn't that be because they were dead already? That they were dead at that point, that they didn't make any phone calls after 2:52? Nope. Could that be possible? Is that possible? They didn't make any phone calls after 2:52 because they were deceased? So 2 girls stop using their phones at the same exact time. So you think that they just fall asleep at the same exact time? So they just stop using their phones? But it has nothing to do with the fact that they could be dead. Is that possible? Well, no, it can't, because because the ME said that the time of death was between 3 and 4. Okay, 2:52, so 8 minutes. See, so that's where I think that right there is where I would hone in on the ME stretching that time up and them not using their phones after 2:52, because Kohlberger's vehicle is not there at 2:52. It's nowhere in sight. It's not there yet. So from 2:52 to 3:29 a.m., why couldn't there have been a murder or 2 or 4 take place during that time frame? Why couldn't it be that the Elantra came and actually picked somebody up that did the crime? Is it all possible? But you guys originally said that this happened between 3 and 4. So couldn't they stop using their phones at 2:50? No, because what? Oh, because somebody was on TikTok? So wow. We're all role playing here. I'm just saying, what part of this, what do you do if you're Anne? How do you win? How do you get this judge to see, like, holy shit, yeah, they don't have enough? So because and then hear this, check this out right here. Well, no, because Xana was downstairs and she had ordered DoorDash. So no, nobody was. So because Xana ordered DoorDash downstairs, that means that the 2 people upstairs couldn't be dead. Could they be dead? And the answer is yes, they could be dead. So because because Xana's downstairs ordering DoorDash at 2:45 in the morning. But the DoorDash meets with Ethan and Xana, right? So and Xana and Ethan aren't here to they couldn't have talked to you and said that they heard something, right? So could they have been killed at that time? How are you ruling that out? So you'd ask the ME, is it possible that they could, you know, now if Ethan and Xana were killed first though, but I don't think that's what happened. It doesn't matter when somebody arrives. None of that would matter. The whole point is that Maddie and Kaylee, what Xana is doing, what Dylan is doing, what I would try to do is make it seem like you're placing the time of another person's death on the fact that another person is alive. Make that make sense. Somebody has to die first. Somebody has to die second. Somebody dies third. Somebody dies fourth. How spread apart were these deaths? Didn't they just have Alec Murder say he took one gun and killed one of them with it, and then he took the other gun and killed the other one with it because he is that smart, right? Mandy Joe's a slam. Point being is that Officer Payne, isn't it true that Dylan said that she heard Kaylee? Did she ever say that she heard Xana? Is it on any of these interviews? Is it in any of these notes? She said she heard Kaylee because she would know the voices of her roommates. So you're the one that's saying that it could be Xana. Were you there that night? Did you hear her voice? So she's saying she heard Kaylee. But it could have been Xana. Why is that important to you, Mr. Payne? Why are you saying that? Why do you have to say that it couldn't have been Kaylee at that time? Is there a problem? Is there something wrong with that time? Why can't it be that she heard that Dylan heard Kaylee? Is it because it would be hard for her to hear her saying there's someone here? Would that be hard to hear? What's the problem with that? Is there, I mean, if you're saying that, wouldn't you kind of want it to be Kaylee's voice? Because the Elantra doesn't get there until 4:05, 4:04. So if she hears Kaylee's voice, wouldn't that help your case? So something doesn't make sense with me with that. Payne's pushing that voice being Kaylee onto Xana. And I think it's because it's problematic if it's Kaylee. And I can't wait for that in the courtroom. Because Ann Taylor better jump all over that. Why would anybody need it? She heard what she heard. I'm sorry, but I would never, if I heard Boston's voice and I heard Mod Squad's voice, I would never be like, yeah, I heard Boston's voice, but I know my friends' voices. Like, woo! We're just role playing, guys. Don't you guys have sex out there? Come on now. It's St. Patty's Day. I'm just curious. I want to know how you would go about, prosecuting this. How do you go defending this? How about this? How do you get the facts? How do you get to the truth? If he did it, go get him. But I need something connecting. This, and I know everyone says it. Lana, there's more out there. I know. I'm waiting for it. But I'm poking the holes where they better fill it like jelly in a donut, because I'm pointing out your holes. And I don't believe that Bethany or Dylan is going to be testifying. It changes the time of death. That's why they need it to be a certain person. Okay, so how about this? How about this for a hypothetical? Lana, now be the prosecutor so we can hear how dumb their evidence sounds. Officer Payne, how many murder investigations have you led? 0. It's my first one. Quad. All right. Okay, so 0. And are you a detective? How long have you been a detective? I'm not a detective. What? Okay. How long have you been with the force? 2, 3, 4 years, something like that. Okay. How long have you been a police officer? Now, Officer Payne, I realize it was you that asked for the search warrant on December 23rd, 2022 for the historical data of Mr. Kohlberger. Now, before that, though, you had his number from a ticket he got, right? He got a ticket. Did you guys end up writing him a ticket? Did he get a ticket for that? I don't recall. I'd have to see the paperwork. Okay. Lana, I want to be the person on the stand. I want to be Dylan. You want to be Dylan? Fine. Fuck it, Gina. Get up here. I'm going to badger the shit out of you, though, okay? I'm not going easy on you, Dylan. Only reason I'm doing this is because I don't have a Discord, and Gina wants Discord. It's never happening. Gina, I want to see you more as Bethany. I want the damn truth, and I just don't see it right here. I don't see it right here. That's why I want to see it in person. I want to see. I will say this, though. After seeing the search warrants and when they came back, dude, they went into those processors blind as hell on 11/16. They had nothing back. They didn't have the towers back. They had nothing back. So when Fry is saying, I don't even know that. I don't even know that. He's not bullshitting. He doesn't even know because they don't even have it. Go, Gina. There you go. There's your link of a lifetime. Hurry up before I say no. Thank you so much there. Tutti Fruity. Nicka Rudy, watch. Gina, shake your booty. Ooh. You don't have to come on camera. Nobody wants to see you, Gina. Come on. We just want to hear your voice. Put Gina on the stand. Gina, I'm gonna need you to raise your left hand. This is the best way to figure it out. Trial, role play. Yes. Okay, Gina. Miss Morrison, do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. I'm the prosecution, so you're my witness, okay?
Oh, I thought you were Ann Taylor.
Well, because the prosecution would go first. Okay. Dylan, how long did you live at 1122 King?
6 months.
Okay. And can you just describe your relationship with your fellow roommates?
I don't know. I didn't really know them that well.
Okay, so that was the first time that you guys were all living together?
Yes.
And what year are you at the university?
Sophomore.
Okay. And what was your major? Or is your major?
I can't remember that.
Okay. Well, you guys would use like social media and stuff and take a lot of pictures and you guys did stuff together as roommates. Did you have their phone numbers? Right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Would you talk to each other like, through text messages, phone calls?
Yes.
Okay. And when you first moved in, did you get to pick any room you wanted to move into? How did that work?
I thought I lived downstairs,
Okay.
but
But so there was a room available on the second floor, so you took that one?
I originally lived in the first floor.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
No, you did not.
Well, I thought I did.
Yeah,
That's what they
know.
said.
Okay. Now, do you guys have keys to the house? Does everybody have their own key? How do you guys get in and out of your house?
Yeah. It's normally unlocked, but we have keys.
Okay. So, and all the roommates had their own keys?
Correct.
Okay. Did you guys have any house rules or anything like that?
No rules.
Okay. And if you wanted to have like somebody sleep over, they could just sleep over?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. And so did you utilize that? No rule sleepovers?
Yeah, all the time.
Now, usually as a sophomore, you usually you're in a sorority?
I think I am, yes.
Okay. And were you active? Were you active in your sorority?
I don't know because there's not many pictures of myself in the sorority.
Oh God, Gina. Okay. Okay. We're gonna fast forward this. We're gonna move to the night in question. Can you just kind of walk us through your night?
I was out around town and I got home around 1 o'clock and I went into my room and I heard everyone else get home around like 1:45. And
Were you by yourself when you came home?
allegedly.
Okay. You're funny. Okay, so it's 1:45. Did you go to sleep then?
I did.
Okay. And anything else you want to tell us about that night?
Well, I was awoken at 4 o'clock. It sounded like Kaylee was playing with her dog upstairs.
Okay.
Oh, wait, was that Maddie? Someone was playing with the dog. I heard the dog. And then I heard someone saying someone was there. And then maybe someone was crying or something.
Objection, hearsay. This goes to the truth of the matter asserted.
It's just what I heard.
Okay.
Is that overruled or?
I think it's going to be interesting. Okay, go on.
Okay, so yeah, I just heard little, nothing too unusual.
Okay, and then what happened? Like, what time was this at?
Around 4 a.m., I
Okay.
got up and I looked out my bedroom door, but I didn't see anything. So I got back in bed.
Okay.
And then I still heard people and it was like annoying. So I got up again and I looked and I just yelled, like, can you guys shut the fuck up? And no one said anything. So I went back to bed again. It was quiet for a minute and then it started again. And I opened my door and a strange guy dressed clad in black just like walked by. I guess it was one of Ethan's friends. But then he walked out the back door. So I shut my door. I went back to bed and everyone was quiet. So I fell asleep.
Okay. What time do you think that you went to sleep? Did you just fall right asleep?
Yeah, probably like 4:30.
And then what time did you wake up?
Um, Probably like 10, 11. I don't know the exact time.
Okay. And then what happened?
I messaged my friends to see if they wanted to come over. And then I messaged the girls in the house to see what they were doing. And no one answered me. And then my friends came over and said something was weird. And yeah, that's when we discovered everything.
And when you say we, who's we?
Well, Ethan's friend.
Okay. And so was that phone call on your did you call? Who called?
Yeah, I messaged everyone.
No, did you call 911?
No.
Okay.
Well, I
All right,
did,
your
but
witness. Your witness, Miss Taylor. All right,
okay.
your witness, Miss Taylor. Okay. All right, Dylan. As much as you don't want to be doing this, I don't want to be doing this either. If you need at any point to take a break, or you just say the words and we can break.
Yes, Miss Taylor.
Okay. That was weird. Gina.
Dylan.
Okay. So Dylan. All right. So let's back up. You testified on direct that you had been living in the house for 6 months.
Oh, well, yeah, about.
Okay. And are you 21?
Yes.
Were you 21 at the time?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
No, I was 22, sorry.
Are you sure about that?
No.
Okay. So in your sophomore year, in your member of the said a sorority, the Pi Phis,
Yes.
why didn't you live in the sorority house your sophomore year?
I wasn't very active, so just wasn't feeling it.
And how did you know you didn't know any of the roommates before you got to college?
No.
And you said that you guys all had a key.
Yes.
Did you give your key to anyone ever?
My boyfriend.
Did anybody ever? Your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Shit, I forgot his name.
Okay. And did you guys always lock your door?
No.
Did you guys have like a front code passcode there on the front door?
Yes. Not immediately, but eventually we did.
Okay. And did people know that code? Did multiple people know that code?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're sure? Like did you ever give it out? Do you know that anybody gave it out? Who?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've personally given that code out.
Yes.
Can you list the people that you've given that code out to? And you would just list it. Moving
Yes.
on. Now, did you were you aware that were you aware that the police officers were telling the community that you came home and went to bed at 1 a.m. downstairs in a downstairs bedroom?
Yeah, later on,
So
right after
did you tell
it
that
was
to the
on the
police?
news, yes.
Did you tell that to the police?
I really don't remember, like, right after. I was, like, in shock. I don't know at what point they thought that. I might have woken up downstairs in Bethany's room. It's a blur.
Okay. So did you tell the cops that you slept downstairs, that you went downstairs at 1 o'clock in the morning, that you slept downstairs and that you didn't hear anything and that you didn't see anything, didn't hear anything? Did you say this to the police officers? You're allowed to lead. You're allowed to lead on cross-examination. Cross-examination, you can lead on questions, just so you guys know. So anybody is saying leading. This is cross-examination. You can lead all day.
Originally, I might have, yes.
So you did say that you slept downstairs.
Yes.
So you lied to the police officers.
No.
Excuse me?
No, I didn't lie.
So you just didn't remember where you slept?
No. I believed I went down and slept with Bethany.
So at 1 o'clock in the morning?
No.
So you went downstairs at what point?
I think after I saw.
But you did tell the police that you told the police that you slept downstairs. Did you ever sleep downstairs that night?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to need you to explain to me how, if you were sleeping downstairs, how you could possibly see anybody upstairs at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It was after.
So you went to sleep downstairs after?
Yes.
But you just testified on direct examination that this person left and then you went back into your room and that you just went to sleep.
Yes.
So you went to sleep. Did you lock the door? You said that you locked the door because you were scared. What would you be scared of? What was there to be frightened of? If there's people in your house all the time, what was there to be frightened of?
Because I don't remember. This is what the cops told me.
Was it normal that Kaylee played with her dog at 4 o'clock in the morning? Was that something normal?
Yeah.
It was normal?
Yes. There were always sounds in the house.
And why do you think it would be that you thought that you heard the dog versus like, did the dog bark?
No, I don't remember anything. This is what the cops suggested that I might have heard.
Okay. Is it normal for people to be in your house and partying?
Yes.
Okay. And to be loud?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have your phone records here. So I'm going to just show you your phone records. And I noticed that from 1 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the morning, you do a lot of texting. You do a lot of texting with people. If you want to go ahead and look at like the October, August, September, October. So August, September, October, November. If you go ahead and you go look through that, you're going to see that you do a lot of texting between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 or 5 a.m.
Correct.
Okay. But can you go ahead and look at November 16th? I mean, November 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, see, there's other days that you guys have had parties and people have been over and you would text people that were in your house between 1 and 5 a.m., 4 a.m. But on the night that this happened, you didn't use your phone at all to text them if they were being loud?
Right.
Which you normally would if people were loud.
Correct.
So that night, they're being loud. You got up 3 different times and you didn't use your phone, to text.
Well, I remember. I think
if it's interrupting you that to the point that you got up 3 different times. You got up 3 different times. You open up the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you were clearly being impeded, and you never. But there's no text messaging happening here.
Right. I think I remember.
Isn't it because you were actually asleep? Weren't you sleeping? That's why you weren't using your phone. You were sleeping.
Yes, I went to sleep originally.
And that's why your phone's not being used at all, is because you actually were sleeping?
Yes.
And you weren't getting up 1 or 2 or 3 different times to look? Because all these other times that stuff's going on, you have no problem using your phone to text anybody.
Correct.
But then on this night, during the middle of the night, when all of this stuff is going on, you don't think to use your phone one time to text?
Well, I think I got up and yelled one time, but I don't really remember anything.
When you opened up the door, can you remember when you opened up the door, were the lights on?
I know the good vibe sign is on, and probably the kitchen light. We always leave them on.
And then you said the third time that you opened up the door, that's when you saw somebody clad in all black. What does clad in all black mean?
That's something the cops had suggested that I have seen. I don't use the word clad. I don't know who the fuck uses the word clad, but that was what they had suggested that I may have seen, so I just went with it.
Miss Mortensen, do you own a knife?
No.
Have you ever seen a knife before?
Yeah.
I noticed in your description that did you see a knife? Did this person, did they have a knife in their hand?
I don't remember seeing the person.
So
I'm
you don't remember seeing this person?
no.
Do you remember hearing anybody going up or down the stairs?
No.
Would your roommates fight, Ethan and Xana?
Normal couple stuff. I minded my own business. I didn't really know them that well.
So would you ever hear them argue?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Ethan make Xana cry?
I don't really pay attention to their business. That's their business.
I didn't ask if you paid attention. Did you ever witness?
No.
What's your normal routine for using taking showers and going to the bathroom?
Usually I take my clothes off in my room and then I'll put a towel on and then I'll walk to the bathroom.
Okay, and where's that? Where's the bathroom at?
It's right next to Xana's room.
Okay. And now I have your tox screen here, and it says you were heavily drinking that night.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually when I start tipping them back, I'll start having to go to the bathroom. Did you use the restroom at all?
Yes, I did.
And so what restroom do you normally use in the house? There's 3 bathrooms in that house. Which one do you normally use?
The one on the second floor.
The one right next to Xana's room?
Yes.
Did you use the restroom at all that day?
Obviously.
So when you were awoken these 3 different times, you never used the restroom?
No.
You heard all of this stuff and thought you heard someone crying and you didn't go and check on them?
No, it's not my business.
But if you've never heard Xana cry before, wouldn't you think it would be a big deal?
No. She was drunk.
Because she just cries all the time?
Well, when she's drunk, she could be a little drama queen.
What was your relationship with Xana? Did you guys get along?
I mean, we didn't go out and hang out together, but we were cool.
Did you have a crush on Ethan?
No.
Did you have ever have any sexual relationships with any of your roommates?
No, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah, and I don't think he's visited you once on campus. You're a very good-looking girl.
We see each other.
Just a few more questions here. When you saw the person, you just thought it was a normal, somebody's over like normal, right? This person, you opened up your door, you saw them, they saw you. Did he touch you? Did he hurt you? Did he do anything to you?
Like I said, Miss Taylor, I don't remember. That is what the cops had suggested, and the FBI had suggested what I might have seen according to the evidence that they had. I said
So this
it could have happened. I don't remember any of
so
it.
this guy clad in black, he has a knife on him. He's already killed 4 people. He comes, he sees you, you see him. But this person didn't do anything to you. Right?
Yes,
The
I've
person
never said clad in black.
Mhm.
I don't.
And then clearly you weren't scared of this person who you saw, this bigger, taller guy with the bushy eyebrows. He didn't do anything to you. You had no reason to be scared. So what'd you do? You closed the door, you went back to sleep, right? Because you were not in fear. You didn't think that this person was. Did you call the police? Aren't you told not to call the police? You're in that sorority. Aren't you told not to call the police? Did you call your big mother hen? Did you call her? Did you call Mother Hen?
No, I called my friends and they called the police.
Well, we have a ton of activity on your phone that day and that morning. We also have you making a lot of steps that morning. Were you running in place in your bedroom? Is there a Nordic track in your bedroom? Were you on the treadmill?
I don't know what that means.
That means like when you're holding your phone and you take steps with it?
Well, I think my phone is being passed around a lot. I don't know. I think I may have passed out at one point, and
So at 10 o'clock in the morning, you were passing your phone around?
no,
10:30?
no, other people had my phone.
So basically you're pretty fucked up on Friday, Saturday night. You went to the football game all day. You were living it up. You guys were taking pictures. You know.
Oh yeah, we were fucked up. I'm not gonna deny that.
Yeah, because that's what you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever plagiarized before? Have you ever cheated on a paper in school, in college? Ever get in trouble for cheating? Cheating is a form of lying. Have you ever cheated on a boyfriend? Have you ever been caught cheating?
I wouldn't say that it never happened. I don't go out of my way to cheat on people, but sometimes shit happens.
Now it says here that on your 3rd time that you ran to your room and that you locked the door. Is there a lock on your door?
There is.
There is. And then there's a back window that's overlooking your in your bedroom. There's a huge back window, right?
Yes.
Do you have a curtain up?
I have blinds.
You have blinds? Are you sure about that?
Well,
I'm going to show you a picture from October 28th. And can you just identify this and tell me if this is your bedroom? Do you have plants in there by the window?
Do I?
Yeah, so your window's a big window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you went back into your room and you closed the door the 3rd time and you locked it, did you look out the window to see? Did you see anything?
Miss Taylor, I don't remember.
Do you remember anybody coming to your room and trying to shake your, hear somebody trying to get into your room?
Badgering the witness.
I can badger you all day. In fact, I can treat you like a hostile witness. Did anybody come into your room? Did anybody come into your room?
No, not that I remember.
Did you hear the door rattle at all? Did you think it was at all weird when you got up the 2nd time and you yelled out, "Shut the fuck up" to everybody? Okay. Did you think it was weird that did the noises stop?
Everything stopped.
It got completely silent.
The whole world stopped.
And you thought that they were just listening to you?
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't remember anything until the next day.
How can you remember when you keep on telling me that you don't remember?
Because I don't remember. What do you mean?
You just said until the next day. So you just remember what happened the next day. You don't remember anything from Saturday night, right? So you don't remember seeing anybody?
No, that's what the cops suggested that I
Number
seen.
further questions. Number further questions. Redirect. Miss Mortensen, you do understand that you were under oath here.
Correct.
And so it's your testimony here today that the police told you to say this?
They
We will hold you in.
suggested. That is what they suggested.
Your Honor, we're going to go ahead. We're going to ask for that recess. I think Miss Mortensen needs to. We need to get the psych eval. All right, there you go. So I don't know, guys. How do you guys see it going? How do you guys see it going? I think that she did a great job because I think that she can't. I mean, she's gonna have to say I don't know to a lot of stuff.
You don't think the cops suggested? You think Dylan said?
There's no way she's gonna say that on the stand. She can't say that on the stand. Ann Taylor's gonna have to bring that out of her.
And she did.
And we'll see. I think it's gonna be. I think it's. I don't see this testimony happening until the trial because I do not. Now, do you guys see why Dylan and Bethany will not be taking the stand at the preliminary hearing? I rest my case on that. These police officers are going to be testifying themselves to what they were told, and that's just what it is. Gina, you did great. I thought Gina is a great witness. Look at everyone says that you're a great witness.
Thank you. Now I'm going for my psych eval and my wine.
Yep. And I'm gonna go keep it on. And but rewind it back, guys. Use your thumbs, make it known. This is coming to a wrap, but the preliminary hearing, it's on the prosecution to, say, hey, we have enough. We can meet all the elements of the facts of the case and yada, yada, yada. I think they're going to do everything through their agents, police officers. They're going to keep it as minimal as they can and just enough to get it. And then it'll be interesting. But I can tell you that there's no way that I think that even this should just show you guys why I don't believe that Dylan or Bethany will be testifying at the preliminary hearing. Now the question is can they be summoned elsewhere? I'm going to look into that. I think he's got something up his sleeve which will shock everybody. Did Bethany tell you? And you guys, trust me, it's going to be like these people are going to be on the stand for a while. Gina was fabulous. That was awesome. I actually thought she was a real person. Real person. I've never heard no.
I am a real person.
Yes. All right. Again, thank you so much, Gina. I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you. You rocked it, girl.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye, Gina.
Bye.
Give it up for Gina, man. She did great. 10 memberships from Star Sorcerer. Thank you so much. Yeah. This just stamps why I believe that there's no way they're going to be testifying for this. Again, in my opinion. It's not a grand jury. This is not a grand jury. This is the judge. This is the judge. She was amazing. Yeah, see, look at all that love you're getting there. Sign her up. Aaron Spelling, sign her up. Tori Spelling, sign her up. Oh, shit. All right, guys. I might be back later to cap it off tonight with a nightcap. But help me out. Make yourself known. If you like the video, thumbs it up. If you didn't, thumbs it down. Either way, you have a voice. You have thumbs. Use it. Use them. Nightcap, please. And look at, guys. Look at. Hold on. Got my blonde all back. So, Lex. You came in later, Lex. So, Have a great evening, everybody. Be safe. Whoop, whoop. Great question there. Someone just put it up. Awesome question. Lana, why do you think the law enforcement is looking for for sheaths when they have the sheath? Dun, dun, dun. Great question there, Annie. Way to use your brain. God, I love this chat. God, I love these members. Thank you so much. And then thank you so much for the gifted memberships. You guys are awesome with sharing with each other. That's awesome. Hopefully cool people got them. Lex Luthor in the house. Oh, look out. Wow, Lana, let those locks down more. The reason I keep them all hidden is because that way when I'm out and about, people can't easily identify me. Oh, it's from Spain. Hello. Again, cheers, guys. Cheers. Happy St. Patty's Day. Be safe. Buying binders. You need to buy binders. Buy binders. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Till next time.